Hello, this is Nick from Breaker Press Games, and this is the Breaker Bulletin for July 23rd, 2023. All right, happy DCC Day weekend. I hope you got out to your local game store and picked up all of the DCC Day stuff like I did. I went to Noble Knight in Fitchburg, Wisconsin, outside of Madison. I'm actually here in Milwaukee, so it was an hour and a half drive, but I went up there because I was going to run some games and hang out and talk to people about DCC. And I'm really looking forward to doing some events, some planned out events there in the future. So let's talk about Breaker Press Games and the stuff that we've been working on. So first and foremost, I have to pitch become a member of our Patreon. At a member at $5 and above, this month's reward was the Hillwood Character Creation Guide. If you become a member right now, you'll get the Hillwood Character Creation Guide and the previous month's reward, Halo of Flies. So yeah, at $5 and above, you get something in the mail every month. That first time out, you actually get, if there's leftover supplies of whatever was the month previous, then you get that as well. But yeah, what was the Hillwood Character Creation Guide? This actually, very similar to the standard Character Creation Guide, it goes through character creation. Hey, that was some notifications. Let's clear those off the screen. Birthdays. Getting notified of people's birthdays. Now what is my computer doing? It's doing all sorts of crazy stuff. I'm just going to ignore that. So, that being said, yeah, Hillwood Character Creation Guide. It goes through character creation, starts with ability scores, birth augur, occupation, all that stuff. But this is themed to people coming from Hillwood Camp. And so, it being a woods folk community, all of the occupations, it's only a D30 chart, are based around the occupations that would be at the Hillwood Camp. The additional equipment is based upon hill folk or woods folk, as well as other things like culturally, they start each with a starting blade, and so you get a starting blade. There's forager goods, trophies, and charms, etc. So if that sounds cool to you, you want to have a unique woodsy feeling group of characters in your games. You can get this for pay what you want, so you can go with free or pay $1 on DriveThruRPG, or you can become a Patreon member. And as I said, this month, get both of these in the mail, and then next month it'll be Hillwood Camp and whatever is coming next month. I've got a couple of different pamphlets that I started, so it might be one of those, or on my dog walk today, I had a epiphany, an explosion in my head about an idea I call Carrion River. So it could be that. You never know. So become a Patreon member and check that stuff out. I'm going to talk more about Patreon at the end of this video. But let's talk about Cleft in the Mangled Hills. You backed the Kickstarter. You want to know what's going on. So, Cleft in the Mangled Hills. It is just about done. This is actually my second proof copy. Going through it one last time with a fine-tooth comb. I thought it was done 2 weeks ago. I was super excited. I sent it out to a bunch of my judges, and I sent it to my editor and said, hey, I think we're done. I think we're ready. And then I sent it to 6 judges. And I was astounded, even with giving them basically a weekend to look at it. All 6 of the judges ended up giving it a read. 4 of them gave very detailed feedback. And so then I went back in and I made some changes. And this is the altered version. It is full of stuff. Insectoid-fueled horror of all sorts. If you are into Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom or The Fly, this is for you. I highly recommend this adventure. The judges all are super excited about it. Some of them even talking about running it in the coming month. Yeah, it's exciting stuff. It will go to print tomorrow after I finish applying the final changes. It will go to print, and I should have copies in my hand ready to start shipping at the end of the week. So that is awesome. Also, I'm going to drink some water because now I'm really thirsty. All of that excitement works up a thirst. So let's talk about the Protectorate of Genulane in this little tiny version of the cover because of these cool cards. Yep, that's Candace Keykeeper. Protectorate of Genulane. We had a meeting at the beginning of the month. Myself, Alex, my editor, and Hal, who used to do a lot of the layout work, did the layout for The Precipice of Corruption and the first printing of Rabid Dogs before I dismantled his layout to add a bunch more stuff in the second printing. That being said, we sat down and we made a checklist of all the things that needed to be done to get Protectorate of Genulane done. Particularly in the last week or so, I've been going through the checklist and checking things off as things are getting done, adding maps to the various encounters. There was a hang-up as to how was I going to lay out the individual encounters in the Path of the Valorous portion of the adventure, and I really needed to pick Hal's brain, and I had been he's such a busy guy. I was hesitant to draw him in, but he wanted to be in, and we sat down and worked together and came up with something that looks boss. So, do people even still say boss? I don't know. I feel like Matt Colville would say boss. So anyways, that being said, it's the Protectorate of Genulane. We are working through everything. I commissioned some new pieces of art. One of the pieces, and it's a very important piece, it's going to come a couple of days after Gen Con. So I think we're going to miss the Gen Con deadline, but only by like a week. I'm super excited. Protector of Genulane is going into those final stages of completion, and I am also going to do what I did with Cleft in the Mangled Hills and send it to a bunch of judges, this time with more time for them to look at stuff and make sure that they think that everything is as it should be and easy to understand, all that good stuff. Now I'm blowing up over there. Everything's happening at once. Who knew Sunday would be so busy and active? Let's talk about Tragedy at Woodwitch Rise. My home group, the Open Table campaign that I post videos about, I set up at the end of last session that Cassie Mutt Wrangler had run into the woods heading north towards the Whispering Wood and Woodwitch Rise. And so they are heading off in pursuit, which is perfect because though I've run the ending encounter, the boss fight, a bunch of times at conventions and through various home groups, this particular group has not gone through it, and I to expand the whole encounter excitement adventure into like a full adventure, I added some point crawl stuff, 2 different paths that you can take in order to get to Woodwitch Rise, and so they're going to get to experience those encounters on Wednesday night. And so I expect Tragedy at Woodwitch Rise to take them 2 sessions to go through the point crawl and then get to the final encounter. And so looking forward to that over the next 2 weeks. And I think that we are still on track for the September shipping deadline. It'll be late September, but it'll be September. I'm hoping to have it in people's hands by Halloween so people can run it as their Halloween horror adventure. So everything is on track. And because everything is on track, that means that it is time for another Kickstarter. Yes, Sorceress Rites of the Elements is going to be coming quick. Sorceress Rites of the Elements is similar to the Tome of Debasement. Instead of evil cleric spells, it is wizard spells, specifically having to do with the elements, along with the Elementalist class. And what makes the Elementalist cool? Well, kind of like the Winds of Magic and Warhammer Fantasy Battle. This was actually inspired when my ex was talking about horoscopes all the time and fire signs, air signs, fire signs, air signs, water signs, and earth signs. I got the idea to have a class where their power waxes and wanes based upon what sign the day is in. So kind of like the Winds of Magic in Warhammer Fantasy Battle. So if you are if it is an Earth day and you are a Wind Wizard, your power is going to be weaker. What just happened? And if you are a fire wizard and you are in fire, then your power is going to be greater. It's cool. I've got 2 people playtesting elementalists right now and trying out the spells and what have you and having a good time. So yeah, that is what's going on with Kickstarters. Expect the announcement on that to drop any day now. I just need to get approvals from Goodman and from Kickstarter. But the Kickstarter page is pretty much all built out. So let's talk about Patreon one last time. One of the things that I dropped on Patreon, because the other thing, besides getting something in the mail every month, I also will drop little pieces. Like over the last couple of months, I posted a bunch of element based spells. This month, I actually just posted something called Famine, Taint, and Scarcity. And those are rules for at the start of a session. My open table campaign is going to start rolling to find out if their food has spoiled. And there's little modifiers on the thing based upon whether it was a torrential downpour, whether they own oilcloth sacks or other equipment in order to protect their food. It's just a little thing that happens at the start of the session and will ramp up that threat of famine. The scarcity element is also the things running out at the various stores in Stennard. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. I've posted it on the Patreon page, and a couple of the people have already responded back. This is the content that they are looking for on Patreon. So, thank you so much to my patrons for being so supportive. That being said, this is at 12 minutes, and so I should wrap this up. Thank you so much for supporting indie games and indie game designers. Thank you to all of my patrons on Patreon. Like and subscribe to my videos to be up on all of the updates. I'm going to be recording a video right after this on healing in DCC, so that'll be the next in the DCC Basics series, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you again. You guys have a great weekend, and I will talk to you all soon.